Stop chasing tools. Right now, there are over 10,000 AI apps on the market, and 90% of them are absolute distractions for your business. If you feel like you're falling behind because you haven't adapted the latest game-changing bot this week, you're looking at it wrong. You are suffering from shiny object syndrome, not a lack of technology. Today, I'm giving you the antidote. It's called the decision lens. We are going to walk through a 4-step filter that allows you to ignore the noise, reject the hype, and only select the tech that actually scales your institutional brain. By the end of this video, you will have complete permission to say no to almost everything, so you can say yes to the few things that actually matter for your business. Welcome back. This is part 2 of our Institutional Brain series. In the last video, we talked about capturing your company's knowledge. Today, we are talking about the infrastructure you build on top of it. Most business owners operate as chief troubleshooting officers. They see a problem, they buy a tool to fix it, and they end up with a Frankenstein stack of software that doesn't talk to each other. I've been there myself, but this is not how an institution thinks. To build an institution, you have to stop buying tools and start architecting a system. You have to move from reactive purchasing to architectural intent. The latest research into high-level IT investment frameworks, the kinds used by CIOs at enterprise levels, shows that smart decision-making converges on 4 specific dimensions. Now, I've adapted these into a weighted matrix essentially designed for the modern business owner. We call this the AI decision lens. It consists of 4 gates: strategic alignment, economic reality, implementation feasibility, risk and future proofing. If a tool doesn't pass gate 1, you don't even look at gate 2. Let's build your filter. The first filter is strategic alignment. This is often the highest weighted criterion in enterprise frameworks, accounting for roughly 30% of the question. Here is simple but brutal. Does this specific technology directly solve a current bottleneck in our primary operating model? Notice I didn't ask if the tool was cool. I also didn't ask if it could save time in the abstract. I asked if it solves a current bottleneck. If your business is bottlenecked by lead generation, an AI tool that optimizes your internal HR documentation is a distraction. It might be a great tool, but it has 0 strategic alignment with your current goal. In the Azumo strategic framework, this is defined as business fit. You need to map the tech to a specific KPI you are trying to move this quarter. Apply the hell yes or no test here. Does this align with our 1-year goal? Does this fix a broken process that's costing us money right now? If the answer is maybe or it looks interesting, you delete the tab. You don't sign up for the free trial, you don't watch the demo, just ignore it. Smart owners treat their attention as the most expensive resource in the company. Do not spend it on tools that don't align with your strategic map. If a tool passes the strategy gate, it hits the second filter, economic reality. Most amateurs look at the monthly subscription fee, $49 a month, $99 a month, and think, sure, we can afford that. That is not the cost of the technology. You have to evaluate TCO, total cost of ownership, versus the ROI. Authoritative research on IT investment management highlights that the purchase price is often the smallest component in the cost. You have to factor in things like integration cost. How many hours will your tech lead spend connecting this to your CRM? Training costs. How long until your team actually uses it proficiently? Maintenance. Who fixes it when the API breaks? If a tool costs $50 a month, but requires 10 hours of staff time to manage per month, that tool actually costs you $500 to $1,000 a month. Now, flip it to ROI. Will this tool generate measurable value? Will it reduce labor hours by 20%? Will it increase conversion rates by 1%? If the TCO is high and the ROI is fuzzy or intangible, it fails the filter. Smart owners demand measurable economics. What we're looking for are tools that print money or save massive amounts of time, not just toys that look futuristic. All right, we're halfway through the filter. Now, the tool aligns with strategy and the math makes sense on paper. Next, we hit the reality check, implementation feasibility. Now, this is the step where 90% of AI projects die. They die because an organization lacks the capabilities to actually execute. You have to ask, do we have the internal skills and bandwidth to deploy this? If you buy a complex enterprise AI agent that requires Python coding to customize, but your team consists of creative writers and sales reps, that tool is completely useless to you. It fails the feasibility test. You also need to look at time to value. Can we get this running in 48 hours? Or will it take 3 months of onboarding? In the institutional brain model, we value speed and simplicity. A B+ tool that your team actually uses today is infinitely better than an A+ tool that sits in setup mode for 6 months. Check the integration complexity. Does it play nice with your current stack? Slack, HubSpot, Notion, whatever you're using. If it requires a custom bridge that you don't know how to build, it's a no. Do not buy aspirational tech. Buy tech you can execute on this week. And now we get to the final gates. It's the one that protects your legacy, risk, compliance, and future-proofing. We are living in a gold rush. Most of these AI companies are startups that didn't exist even 6 months ago. They might not exist 6 months from now. You need to assess vendor lock-in and platform risk. If you build your entire customer support workflow on a niche AI wrapper and that company gets acquired or shuts down, what happens to your business? If the answer is we stop functioning, the risk is way too high. You need to look at data sovereignty. Where's your data going? Is it being used to train their models? If you leave, can you export your data? Smart owners look for portability. They prefer tools that allow them to own the outputs. They look for established players or open source alternatives for critical infrastructure. This helps you sleep at night. You're building an institution, not a house of cards. If the tool is risky, unproven, or traps your data, it totally fails the final gate. This is the decision lens. When a new tool pops up on your feed, run it through this mental matrix. 1, strategic fit. Does it solve a bottleneck? 2, economics. Is the ROI clear and the TCO low? 3, feasibility. Can we deploy it now? And 4, risk. Is it safe and scalable? If you do this, you will find that you stop signing up for 90% of the tools out there. And that, my friend, is a victory. The goal of the institutional brain is not to have the most technology, it's to have the right technology. By using this filter, you move from being a consumer of hype to an architect of value. You stop reacting and you start building. In the next video of this series, we're going to discuss the people side of this equation, how to get your team to actually adopt the systems you've chosen. If you want to build a business that runs without you, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss that update. Stop chasing, start filtering. I'll see you in the next one.